What is going on, guys? Joey Franzo here, Flex Training Systems. August 7th, about 2 months and a week out from Nationals. And I thought I would take this time to do a video about competing. Um, I just want to talk about competition, talk about, when to compete, when you shouldn't compete, what do you gain from competing, a little bit about mindset, some different goals, different goals for different people, and then, just being honest with yourself. And what are some things that you want to kind of look for from competition to competition? So, how many times should you compete? Earlier in your career, I say it can be beneficial to compete more frequently if you want to put your progress in the books and you want to learn from, uh, you know, just the different things that can happen on meet day. You can experience different types of judging. You can experience different venues, different kind of timings, different organization levels at competitions. Sometimes you're gonna have a meet director that's gonna be like super on point. Whereas like here in SoCal, like we sometimes don't have a lot of numbers when we weigh in, which is interesting. But you want to be ready for anything. I try to compete at meets at my stage of my career because I don't compete very frequently. I don't want a lot of different variables, so I don't really do locals. I just try to compete at two meets that I know are going to be exactly the same. One being the Arnold, which is literally in the same venue every single year. It's at the same time. My conditions leading into that are going to be better than they're going to be during any other meet during the year. Like, that is one time of the year where I know I can do my best, and it is always like the same, like I said, variables for the most part. So for me personally, someone that doesn't compete very frequently, that's somewhere where I want to compete. Um, Nationals is obviously in a different place every year, but it's usually like, really high production. They split us up into many days. I believe this Nationals coming up, we're going to have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 5 days, which means there's not a lot of people, whether you're on prime time or not. I mean, if you're on the first 2 days, you might get, you're going to get overwhelmed with people. There's just so many lifters. But other than that, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in prime time this go around, which means it's just going to be me and the big boys, and like I said, less variables, less things to worry about. There's going to be like a million warm up racks, but there'll be more. Everybody could pretty much get their own rack, and so for me personally, like I said, someone that doesn't compete very frequently because I'm older in this. I've been competing for 6 years, and I've reached a point where in order for me to really put a lot of pounds on my total, I have to just put more effort into it. Like, it's going to get harder and harder. Um, I have kind of trivialized it in a way, meaning I don't really need to think much about my progress. In order to make progress, I just need time, which is the case. I mean, if you have a coach, you don't really have to think about it. Although there are some things I do have my people think about, um, but uh, you want to get to a point where you're lifting. Your progress is kind of like automatic. You don't really need to do much once you find the formula, and you're good to go. Um, there was something I was gonna say before this, but I forgot because I went off on a tangent like I always do. But yeah, earlier in your career, you don't need to compete so much. Later on, try to limit variables if you can, so that you're always competing, under similar conditions. Um, we have that power, right? We can pick when we compete. You don't gain anything by like challenging yourself and trying to do like sporadic meet conditions. You literally gain like what do you like who are you trying to impress doing that? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, all your numbers are going to be recorded as statistics, and it's not going to say anywhere like you weighed in at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. and you didn't actually live till 4 or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. But yeah, and then I hear this a lot from newer people. It's like, when should I compete? They don't really know like when they should be competing or anything like that. And it's just like, I think that if you're brand new, you've never done a meet, you've never done any competition ever before, um, then just compete. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just you're gonna hold yourself down by being afraid of competing, um, that rather than actually competing and getting more getting more experience and things like that. I say put something in the books early on. Um, put up some numbers and beat beat that total later, and see how far you've come. I think it's really important to kind of remind yourself every now and again, how far you've actually come and the progress that you've made. It makes the process just a lot more enjoyable, especially when you have those days when you're down. Um, you have to, you got to remind yourself, yo, like, I remember back when 500 pounds was like hard for me, and now I can hit that shit for like 15 reps. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good kind of like morale booster when you see like, hey, I am making progress. I am way ahead. I'm just having a bad day today. Um, and don't be afraid to call audibles if you have to get through that. Um, yeah. So when you should compete, if you're new, just compete and then go from there. If you've been competing a while, I say typically you want to wait till you made enough progress where you can actually show it on the platform. Um, if you've cut a weight class and you want to kind of like get something in the books for that new kind of weight class, you can compete then. Obviously, if you're competing for money, if you're competing for fun or something like that, I guess that's up to you. But I think people put way too much pressure on themselves for when they should compete, and they should just fucking do it. There's always going to be someone stronger than you. There's always going to be someone, at the top of the class, or it's like for the majority of people. Obviously, there's like literally a handful of people that are going to be the very best. Like obviously, Russ is on top, and I know, we're trying to keep him on top. But then we got the girls fighting for 84s. Sean's obviously keeping Russ honest. Like, Keiko's coming up. Like, we got Mikey's in the mix. There's always going to be people that are going to try to gun for first. Um, but you like I said, you can't compare yourself to like the top guy. I think that's like a really unhealthy thing to do. People do it all the time. And like I said, that my guys that are just so far away from being the top that they just like don't even look at anybody else and focus on themselves, they do amazingly. They do amazingly. I wish more competitive lifters that were actually like top 10, top 5 would just focus on themselves, and they would end up doing better, because at the end of the day, like, we just need to be in a mindset that's going to help facilitate our progress. And always looking at the competition and always looking at, you know, like, oh, this meet's coming up, this guy's going to be there, I got to beat him. If you just stay in your lane and do what you got to do, everything's gonna come to you. uh, and that is not only true when it comes to competing, but like it starts in the gym, right? um, if you don't like push for PRs but you let them come to you, you're gonna, it might not be as exciting sometimes, but when it happens you'll really appreciate it, and you're not going to kill yourself trying to force something that you never should have been messing with in the first place. um, when you shouldn't compete, if you're in the middle of a diet, don't like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, if you're dieting down and then you're gonna cut all those numbers you hit when you were big, like, just throw it out the window. It's not gonna happen, unless you're like supercharged or something like that. um, Obviously don't compete if you know that you have things going on in your life that are gonna interfere, to the point where you just cannot like maintain your training. Like, if you can keep training through it, I think you'll be all right. But if you're gonna skip days because you have to travel or work, or you're having a kid or something crazy is going on, then just don't. I wouldn't do it. Honestly, these are kind of like, I'm just giving you guys general advice, but this is kind of like very up to you. Um, it's, nobody can tell you what to do with your life. Like, you can compete if you want to compete, but at the end of the day, like, maybe I can help, guide you in any which direction if you're unsure. Um, when else shouldn't you compete? I would say if you like, so dieting, your leverages are changing. I got to finish my point. Leverages are changing. You have a change of, like, you just finished a move, you got a new job in a different state and shit like that. Just separate all that from compete when you're ready. Like I said, we get to choose when we compete, right? we set that kind of timeline. You never want to be your own worst enemy, setting up a fucking, like, you're putting yourself on a time limit for something that you have control over. So it's just like when people are like, I want to lose this much weight in 30 days. It's like, well, how about you lost that weight in like 90 days, but you weren't miserable? You get what I'm saying? Um, it's not a race. You can have a timeline for yourself, which is great, but not if it's gonna just reduce your quality of life to fucking hell, and you're not even having fun doing it in the first place. So, granted, a lot of my lifting when I have stuff going on outside the gym is like, I mean, I didn't feel like squatting yesterday, but I did it. I was thinking about other things, thinking about shit I had to do at the house, and stuff like that. So, you gotta just do it and be disciplined, and when you kind of accept, like, this is something that I know that I want long term, and I don't really care about how I feel doing it, then you just gotta commit, and then everything else kind of just, you'll thank yourself for it when you're on the platform. You'll be like, damn, man, I'm happy that when I was in the middle of that move, I didn't just skip the gym that week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you need it, but that's to be decided. Jumping into the next topic here, what do we gain from competition? Obviously, you're getting experience. You're gonna be able to handle, like, you not only are you getting experience like competing, just dealing with competition. Like, you just have to kind of experience it. Um, but you're gonna be, it's gonna help you kind of be more honest with yourself. Maybe you are smashing numbers in the gym, and then you got to the competition and you just weren't nearly as strong. I mean, hey, that's gonna happen. You're gonna be humbled. You're gonna learn from that, and then you're gonna know going forward. All right, like, if I squatted this in the gym and I got to the meet and I only hit whatever, then I can kind of, assuming that you do the taper the same and all that, and you're confident with your training, you can kind of anticipate, similar gains. I mean, I squatted 644 at one Arnold, and then the next one I literally squatted 100 pounds more than that. Um, that was a special case. I went up a weight class, and I was very suppressed from nationals, like doing nationals. So I wasn't able to really like show my strength. Uh, Without having a chart up or anything, it's kind of difficult for you guys to understand the timeline, but um, I understood why I was hitting what I was hitting. Dieting is just not good for just throwing up the absolute biggest numbers you can. Um, but yeah, you really, what you gain from competing is just like a different take on the whole thing. Like, your mindset improves, you become more calm and focused rather than like kind of anxious. Like, a lot of powerlifters, they always want to prove shit to people, and it's just like, when you are confident in your abilities, your training has been on point, you've dialed your technique, and you show up on meet day, those numbers have no chance. Like, you're just gonna execute. Like, execution on the meet day is something that comes with experience, and it's very hard to kind of replicate that in the gym. Um, and I think that is very valuable, and it is hard. Like I said, it's hard to, uh, like, no matter what kind of mock meet you try to put up, like, in terms of the numbers you lift or whatever, unless you're at the meet with the judges there and everybody watching you and you have your singlet on and all this shit, it's just not going to be the same. So, I am all for competing to gain competition, assuming you aren't like negatively impacting your training in the process. Um, when you have many meets under your belt, I would say about 10, somewhere between 8 to 10, 7-ish meets under your belt, and you can really just be calm and come in and stay focused and look at the bar in front of you and know, like, hey, I'm going to unrack this and my body's just going to hit it, and I don't even need to worry about it. Then you can kind of chill out on your competitions, and you want to compete like a little bit less frequent, when that's the case. So, and then yeah, just last thing I have on here is just like being honest with yourself. Have you really made progress? Do you really have the kind of life circumstances that are going to allow you to have fun at your competition? Um, you know, I would say more so like, like from a health and like financial standpoint, like obviously if you screw yourself up, like what are you gonna do? And then if you're competing when you should be using that money towards other things, that's something that you need to consider. I really wish that powerlifting wasn't all, I like nationals is fucking $150 this year, and then if you're late, it's like 195. That's kind of fucking nuts to me. I I don't think I'm like I probably am qualified, but I just don't want to get into that. Like I just don't care enough to like think about it and should it really be this much? I know what Tina charges for our meets. I mean, you guys could like look it up, and we are like barely. She's barely breaking even. You know what I mean? Um, but I don't know. I just wish that I wish there was a free meet. When was the last time we saw a free powerlifting meet, like a legit free powerlifting meet? The entire thing was sponsored. I think that would be super dope. Maybe one day when I am not trying to pay fucking house down, I can do something like that. I think that'd be super awesome. Have all the boys come out. Now I'm getting ideas for the future. But anyway, yeah, guys, I think we've reached the end of this video. If you were able to take something away from it, let me know down below. I was gonna talk about my kind of competition schedule and shit like that, like what I'm planning in the future, but it's just like I ran out of time, I guess. If you guys have any questions, ask them down below. I really appreciate each and every one of you. The feedback on everything's just been like really dope. I hope to meet a lot of you guys at nationals. If you guys want to kind of connect with me on a different level, see a different side of me, maybe even get some games in, I put my gaming stuff down below. I want to use my gaming platforms, whatever little tiny platforms there are, as a way to kind of like link with a couple of you guys, talk to you guys. I'm thinking about doing Q&As on live streams and things like that. And I think it just could be like a fun interactive way for people to take something away from, something kind of like these videos, but like just more applied to you, because you guys can ask me individual questions. While I'm doing something enjoyable and I'm generally in a good mood. But yeah, all that's down below. Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.